Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. At least one security expert believes that the flow of illegal guns into Jamaica from the United States will continue unless the U.S. intervenes. Ian Roberts says the problem should be addressed from the source. Details in this report.
Jamaican authorities continue to grapple with the flow of illegal guns in the island. Despite efforts to stem the flow of illegal guns from the United States, one security expert believes the problem will continue unless the U.S. puts a stop to it. Treasurer for the Jamaican chapter of the American Society for Industrial Security, Ian Roberts, says the issue of illegal guns entering Jamaica is best dealt with at the source.
Because we are limited in our own resources as it relates to our security forces and their capabilities and abilities. And so I think if we can plug the source, then we can always mop up the back end or the recipients on this side. But I think greater efforts should be made by the U.S. as our allies to help protect us as a small developing state.
Mr. Roberts says the U.S. should do more to prevent the illegal gun flow to Jamaica.
We don't have the wherewithal to do all of this. I mean, they can detect anything coming into the U.S. So I think by the same token or by the same means, they should be able to detect what's leaving the U.S., especially firearms that are manufactured in the U.S. It shouldn't be untraceable.
He was commenting on a New York Times report which chronicles how weak the measures are in the United States in illegal guns being smuggled to countries like Jamaica, where criminals use them to commit thousands of murders. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Work on the South Coast Highway Improvement Project is expected to begin by the end of September. The highway runs from Harbourview to Port Antonio and from Morant Bay to Cedar Valley in St. Thomas. It will be financed by a $384 million loan from the China Exim Bank. A contract was signed this morning by the government and representatives of China Harbour Engineering Company. Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Audrey Sewell, outlines the scope of the project.
Is one such which involves the construction and rehabilitation of roadworks along existing alignments. And as you know, it is in two segments. One from Harbourview to Port Antonio, hence the presence of Mrs. Vaz. And the other segment, which will commence later on, is from Maypen to Williamsfield, Maypen in Clarendon to Williamsfield.
Mrs. Sewell also noted other improvements which will take place.
Segment of the project will involve waterline improvement works in all major roadworks. New transmission and distribution lines will therefore be installed in areas where a supply network exists and will be directly impacted by the roadworks. Additionally, where systems are to be optimized based on the recommendations of the National Water Commission, this will also be included, and I suppose that will help to reduce the criticisms of us that after NWA does the work, NWC digs up.
The campaign manager of the PNP's Rise United camp says no showdown is looming in the opposition party. Dr. Dayton Campbell was replying to headlines following yesterday's elections in which all 6 regional chairpersons for the PNP returned unopposed. As we hear in this report, Dr. Campbell was speaking at a spot meeting in Central St. James.
And so me have a right to talk the truth. Me assign myself to talk the truth.
Campaign manager of the Rise United campaign, Dayton Campbell, is complaining about rumors surrounding the strategy of Peter Bunting's Rise United campaign. He says he has noticed that the One PNP camp has coined false narratives about the Rise United's strategy.
Because what I see One PNP want to do is to set up a narrative. If we say we're going to have showdown, knowing that we're not challenged in opposition, and then come bossing away for people and then say them win. It's like when the Rust did go down to Portland and say them better than him because of their class and color. Nobody knows say it, you know? When you think about it, nobody knows say it. You did hear anybody say it? They make up one thing and then them defend it and them style that. We had no intentions of offering ourselves to any of the regional positions today. No intentions.
Dr. Campbell says that the one PNP camp demonstrated that they are not confident about the presidential election based on yesterday's delegate election.
I see them a come with them little slackness and them little stylings and it not go work. I was at Region 1 meeting today, and when the meeting done, Mr. My brethren Victor sent out endorsement for Dr. Phillips. If they were confident about Region 1, him should have said it before, and him see if he would have go back as Region Chair.
He added that Chairman Victor Wright was being disingenuous with his loyalty and that the one PNP camp has exhibited similar characteristics.
Gimmicks thing them are going with. I mean, I like people who you can't trust, because Victor tell me say Dr. Phillips not even talk to him, so him can't vote for him. Kaboom! Bang, 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 bang. Me no hypocrisy business in this. And if you don't want to come take Northwest Center and go and go take it and give somebody else and me go practice medicine, but me I go talk the truth, me no hypocrisy with nobody in this.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
The National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Dorian is expected to become a hurricane in the Eastern Caribbean within the next 3 days. That's when it should move near Puerto Rico and Eastern Hispaniola. Dorian is forecast to grow into a lower-level Category 1 hurricane, meaning sustained winds would narrowly top the 74 miles per hour threshold. Dorian currently has maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. Just before noon Eastern Time on Monday, it was some 135 miles east-southeast of Barbados. The storm is expected to follow a path that could take it through a number of islands. And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. More stories right after these messages. Welcome back, and we're continuing the news. PNP presidential candidate Peter Bunting has joined those who are criticizing the Andrew Holness administration over concerns about possible mining operations in the cockpit country. The government has indicated that no decision has been taken on the matter, although an environmental impact assessment was done. According to Mr. Bunting, those who have concerns about the activity should support his campaign.
When our local environment is threatened, when a cockpit country, an environmental treasure recognized by all, is at risk locally, if you believe we have a responsibility to preserve this environment for our children and grandchildren, say Rise United.
Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has called representatives of the island's air traffic controllers to a meeting amidst reports they are restive. Earlier this month, the employees served notice that they were on the verge of taking industrial action. The Jamaica Air Traffic Controllers Association warned that normality could not be guaranteed due to outstanding wage issues. The association also complained that its 2017-2019 wage claim has still not been settled. President of the association, Kurt Solomon, says the meeting with the finance minister will take place tomorrow.
We're hoping at this juncture that we will be able to settle the matter. This claim was indeed presented in 2013, so we have actually been at it 6 years now, and we have had interim settlements on some items as we went along. But right now, we need to settle the matter and get down to the real business of enlarging aviation in Jamaica.
The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, has escalated its streetlight repair program. This as the utility company has repaired approximately 14,000 street lamps. Details in this report.
In October 2018, the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, made a commitment to the government to repair all non-functioning streetlights across the island. Media and Public Relations Manager at the JPS, Audrey Williams, says the utility company has repaired 14,290 street lamps between January and June of this year. Ms. Williams says the company's focus will be on repairing the remaining defective lamps island-wide. Therefore, there will be further improvements before the end of the year.
We do recognize that there are some streetlights which are still out. The vast majority are working, but there are some that are still out. And we do understand our customers' concerns. So we are on an escalated program. It's right across the island, and persons can expect to see us working in their communities. We do expect that by the end of the year, we'll have a fairly normalized situation.
The utility company says its work schedule for the remainder of this month involves repairs in several communities in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, as well as St. James. In the meantime, JPS says it now has a more robust monitoring system for streetlights.
There's another layer of maintenance where the smart LED lights are concerned, because we can remotely monitor and maintain those. So we can know without even doing the patrols which lights are giving a problem, which ones need to be maintained right now, and so on.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And in sports, TVJ Sports understands that Arnett Gardens FC have parted company with longtime coach Jerome Waite. It's understood that Waite has been dismissed because his duties as national assistant coach have continued to conflict with his coaching duties at Arnett Gardens. With Arnett preparing for the start of the new Premier League season, Waite also has national duties with the Reggae Boys. This as they will play Antigua and Barbuda and Guyana in the CONCACAF Nations League next month. Waite led Arnett Gardens to 4 of their 5 national Premier League titles, with the most recent coming in 2017. He had returned to Arnett for a 3rd stint as head coach in 2013. Arnett Gardens made it to the quarterfinals of last season's RSPL, where they were knocked out by Cavalier. TVJ Sports understands that Alex Thomas will take over as head coach. And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.